Now, if you're travelling on the road late at night and it's quite rainy, and you should happen to stop by at a secluded motel, you know what, you want a quick room for the night, I've got some advice for you. If the proprietor should happen to be a dodgy character who walks around in women's clothes, take my advice, and whatever you do, don't dare take a bloody shower in there. You know, it makes sense. Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now, in this video, I'd just like to talk about absolutely fantastic horror franchise, which I know has got a huge fan following, and that is the Psycho franchise. Now, I've got the four movies here, you know, all starring Anthony Perkins. I didn't bother, you know, including the remake and that, you know, because I didn't rate that at all. Yeah, and then there was another one, a TV movie called the Bates Motel, which I've disregarded, and that because, you know, I didn't really want to include that one, you know, in this video. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about each of the four Psycho movies and rate them, you know, 4 to 1, you know, in order of enjoyability factor. Now, obviously, you know, I love all the Psycho movies and that, you know, and I think Anthony Perkins is a fantastic actor. He really made that part his own and that, you know, Norman Bates, yeah. And, you know, he's very multi-layered character and that, you know, nobody could have took that part off like him. And, you know, and actually, even though you knew he was a killer, he was a schizophrenic, you know, you couldn't help but feel sorry for him and that, you know, feel sorry for Norman and that, you know, yeah. So he's very well developed character and that, you know, yeah. One of the most iconic horror characters ever to grace the silver screen. Yeah. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, I'd just like to start the video with Psycho movie number 4. Yeah, so number 4 on my list is Psycho 4 from 1990. Now, I won't say too much about these movies, like just in case that, you know, any of you haven't seen them. But basically, this sees Norman out of the asylum again and apparently cured and that, and he's on the phone to this radio station, you know, saying about like he's recount like his childhood and that, you know, yeah, and all what happened to him and that, you know, when he was young and that, you know, his mother's love affair and that, you know, yeah, his mother's played by the lovely Olivia Hussey in this, yeah, and she's really on the money, you know, playing his mum, yeah, very fine actress Olivia Hussey, yeah, but yeah, so as I say, he's on the phone to this radio station, like, you know, and he's raising as he's talking, the more he's talking to the you know, to the radio presenter, he's raising the anxiety levels and that, you know, because it looks as if as he's recounting his life and that, it looks as if he's on the verge of you know, going out to, you know, to kill again and that, yeah. So it really ratchets the tension up, this guys, yeah. Yeah, the reason why I put it at number 4, the reason why it lost a couple of points was because apparently this ignores both Psycho 2 and Psycho 3, and it just carries on from when the first Psycho movie, you know, when the classic and that, yeah. This jumps straight from that to this, yeah. But then again, you've got other fans reckon like that this is a direct sequel to Psycho 3 and that, you know, yeah. But when you take into account, like at the end of Psycho 3, where the sheriff says you're not going to get out ever again, you wonder like, well, why is he released again? You know, after being released in Psycho 2, and he's done more murders in Psycho 3. Why was he released again and that, you know, yeah. But the argument persists about this, guys, yeah. But again, Anthony Perkins, he does, you know, he gives a fantastic performance as Norman Bates and that, you know, yeah. And yeah, so I did hear a rumor that he was going to make one more Psycho after this, yeah. But unfortunately, like, you know, he passed away in that, yeah. But yeah, so this is a great movie, this, guys, yeah. But as I say, he's on the phone to the radio station and that, yeah. I don't want to go on too much about it, yeah. But I must warn you, if you haven't seen it, there's one particularly, well, one or two actually, particularly stomach-churning moments involving like his earlier life and that, yeah. So, but I don't want to go on too much about that. But if you haven't seen it, like Psycho 4, yeah. So yeah, as I say, Anthony Perkins, like he gives a great performance in that, yeah. And what they also brought back the original scriptwriter of the first Psycho, So Joseph Stefano. Yeah, Joseph Stefano to write the script and that. Yeah, it was directed by Mick Garris and produced by Hilton A. Green. Yeah, executive producer Hilton A. Green, produced by George Zaloom and Les Mayfield. Yeah, also stars Henry Thomas as the young Norman Bates. Yeah, so there you go. Guys. That's number 4 on my list of Psycho movies. That is Psycho 4: The Beginning from 1990. Number 3 on my list of Anthony Perkins Psycho movies is, quite appropriately, Psycho 3. Again, guys, a fantastic performance here by Anthony Perkins. Yeah, it's this is the direct sequel to Psycho 2, and this involves like a nun, who runs away from a monastery. And she's carrying, as well as carrying a sort of like a luggage and that, she's carrying a lot of emotional baggage in this movie. Yeah, so I won't give away too much of the story, just in case you haven't seen it. Love that cover, guys. It's fantastic. Yeah. So basically, she stops by the Bates Motel and that, and gets involved with Norman and that, and you're getting a kind of like a little love relationship developing and that, and then you got the sheriff back and all, from Psycho 2 and that, he's back in that, and this one, like, there's not so much mystery to this one as it is in Psycho 2, but still a very, very fine movie, and lovely picture quality as well, so you've got the nun and that. And then you've got the chap with the plays the guitar. He's sort of like a Jack the Lad character. He's really out there and that. There he is, guys. There. Yeah, he gives a fine performance as well, and that, and he runs into Norman and that, has a couple of clashes with him and that, but I don't want to give away too much of the story, but this was made in 1986, a couple of years after Psycho 2, and I say Anthony Perkins again, he gives a flawless performance as Norman Bates in this, and you got the hotel, the Bates Motel and that, and you get a couple of killings in it and that, and it's a great movie, it's admittedly, I'd say in comparison to Psycho 2, there wasn't as much mystery to this one as was in Psycho 2, but for all that, it's a very, very enjoyable movie. This has got some great special features there, guys, as well. There he is, Norman Bates, playing his usual schizophrenic self. So as I say, so Psycho 3, another great performance by Anthony Perkins and that, and I enjoyed the story and that with the nun and that, let's say you've got like amongst the features, you've got the audio commentary with the screenwriter, Charles Edward Pogue, and that, interviews with actors Kat Shee, Brink Stevens, and a special makeup effects artist Michael Westmore. So there you go. That is Psycho 3 from 1986. Now the runner-up on my list of my four favourite Psycho movies is, again, appropriately enough, Psycho 2. Guys, I could sit here all afternoon uttering superlatives about this movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the very first time I watched it in that, on VHS, and it got me recorder back in 1986. It's a fantastic sequel to Psycho. So basically, the story is about like Norman, like he's released from the psychiatric institute after being incarcerated for 22 years and that, and then you've got what's her name coming back from the first Psycho, Vera Miles, who played Janet Leigh's sister. She's still very bitter in that, about what happened and that, Norman killing her and that, and you see her in the courtroom. Oh, she's really furious and that, you're saying like, you're not going to let him out and that, he's dangerous and that and all that. Oh yeah, she's a fantastic actress, Vera Miles, and again, Anthony Perkins again. Fantastic performance as Norman Bates, and you see him in the courtroom and that, and he gets let out, and you see him standing there outside the courtroom with a psychiatrist, and Vera Miles' character, she's going on and on, and a psychiatrist says like, well, he said he wasn't actually convicted of murder, he was sort of like, incarcerated because he was mentally, he had mental problems and that, but of course it doesn't wash with 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 Vera Miles and that, yeah. So you see Norman getting released, yeah, and then you see him going back to going back to his, the Bates Motel, and the minute he's inside the Bates Motel, he starts. So you start wondering, is he going nuts already in that, yeah? Because as he's going up the stairs, like, he hears his mother's voice and that coming from the bedroom. Oh yeah, this is a fantastic movie, this, guys, yeah. One of the greatest sequels ever made, yeah. I would rate this with The Bride of Frankenstein as one of the all-time great sequels, Psycho 2, yeah. Made in 1982 and released in 1983, and yeah, quite a long gap actually between the first Psycho in 1960 and this one, guys, yeah. Oh yeah, this is, and there you go. There's the back, guys, yeah. There he is, Norman Bates. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's Vera Miles' character. Yeah. And then you've got a supporting cast as well, good supporting cast as well as Vera Miles. You've got the psychiatrist, and then you've got like is Midge Tilly, who plays the love interest in that, yeah. Vera Miles is his daughter. Yeah, it was written by Tom Holland and the music by Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah, special visual effects by Albert Whitlock. Yeah. Got some great special features as well, guys. There, if you want to freeze your cameras. Isn't that a great photo there of Norman outside the Psycho house? Yeah. Oh yeah. As I say, Psycho 2 is one of the greatest sequels ever made, guys. It really is. Yeah. And you don't know, it's got this great air of mystery. You don't know if has Norman really gone batty again. You don't know if it's him killing again, or if it's somebody else in that, yeah. Oh yeah, very, very suspenseful, very, good cinematography, yeah. And Anthony Perkins again, he gives a flawless constant performance as Norman Bates, Oh yeah, he really is, yeah. I think he was born to play this role, guys, yeah. Just like Christopher Lee he was born to play, well, the later Dracula films, like, he's sort of like, he wasn't too keen on, but I think, Christopher Lee, yeah, just like Anthony Perkins with Anthony Perkins, but I think Christopher Lee, the best Dracula in that, yeah. Oh yeah, this is a great sequel to Psycho, yeah. And funnily enough, this was, from what I've read anyway, this was originally slated to be just a direct-to-TV movie, yeah. But then, of course, it went to the big screen. Anthony Perkins read the script. He decided he liked it, so he was all too willing to reprise his role as the schizophrenic Norman Bates. Yeah. And it's great to see him. Great to see him, like, going back to the hotel and that, and standing on the steps and then going inside and that, and goes up the stairs and he hears his mother's voice in the room and that, and then you've got the mystery about it and that, yeah, and then you've got like these other characters now he runs into, like, yeah. Particularly a nasty character who's been like he's been like the manager of the hotel, but he's been working under Anthony Perkins, so he's quite a sort of like, he's quite a bit of a handful for him and that, yeah. But oh yeah, it's a fantastic movie, Psycho 2, yeah. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, guys, I highly recommend that you see this one. Yeah, it's one of the greatest sequels ever made. Yeah, as I said, I'd rate it with The Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah, it's got everything, this movie. It's got good mystery. Anthony Perkins, he's great in it. Like, you don't know if it's him gone batty again, or if it's somebody else, that's doing the killings and that. Yeah, so I'd highly recommend this, guys. Yeah, Psycho 2. It's a fantastic sequel. Yeah. Yeah, watched this quite a few times and that, and I always enjoy it, even though I know what's going to happen at the end. I always enjoy this movie. It's a great movie, yeah. So there you go. That is number 2 in my list of my top 4 Psycho movies. That is Psycho 2, yeah, from 1983. Well, guys, we finally come to the number 1 in my top 4 Psycho movies starring Anthony Perkins. Now, I think you're gonna, I think you all know full well what movie I'm gonna say. Yeah, it is the original Psycho from 1960. Wow, guys, this is one. It's just an absolute horror classic. I mean, what can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said countless times? Yeah, Anthony Perkins, yeah, fantastic in the role as the schizophrenic Norman Bates and that. Yeah, Janet Leigh, unfortunately, whose character was unfortunately killed off near halfway through the movie. Yeah, gives a great performance as Marion Crane, and then you've got like Martin Balsam as the investigating private eye, and then you've got like Vera Miles as a sister and that. Yeah, oh yeah. This is the perfect horror movie, this, guys. It really is, yeah. Based on the 1959 horror novel Psycho by Robert Bloch. Watched this movie countless times, yeah. Just as much as I've watched the Hammer movies, and I always enjoy it. And that, yeah. It's a fantastic movie, yeah. Alfred Hitchcock, oh, this is one of his greatest movies, if not the greatest. Yeah, the Psycho. Yeah, it's got everything a good horror movie should have. It's got a good character in Norman Bates. It's got a good female protagonist, albeit she doesn't last very long in the movie. Janet Leigh, and then you've got the creepy house. You know, you've got the Bates Motel, you've got the creepy house on the hill and that, you know, where Norman lives with his, well, we think it's his mother, yeah, and, you know, you've got the horrible murders and that, you know, yeah, atmosphere, it's got it in bucket loads, yeah, a great villain and that, you know, very sympathetic villain as well, yeah, as I said previously, although, you know, he's a murderer, you can't help but feel sorry for him at times, yeah, because initially he seems to be this charming young man who, like, sort of like, you know, he comes out in the rain, like when Janet Leigh pulls up outside his motel, and he seems initially very charming and that, you know, very, very nice man. Oh, yeah, but we soon see the dark side of him, guys, yeah. Absolute horror classic, this, yeah. Based on a script by Joseph Stefano. Yeah, this is every horror fan's top 10. Very rarely you see a top 10 Psycho isn't mentioned, guys, yeah. Absolute classic, and this is a great edition, this, yeah. This has actually got the cut version and the uncut version. So watch the uncut version the other night. It's only barely a couple of seconds and that, yeah, but it's great to have the uncut version as well as, you know, as well as the normal version, yeah. Oh yeah, this is a fantastic movie, guys, from start to finish, yeah. You've got, as I say, you've got Janet Leigh's character on the run with the money, $40,000 she stole from her employer, you know, and she's carrying a lot of emotional baggage with her, you know, and goes to the Bates Motel, as I say, in that, you know, yeah. And then you've got, like, as I say, Vera Miles, you know, you know, a sister, like, comes looking for her and that, you know, she goes missing and that. And Martin Balsam, he's fantastic in the role as the you know, the private eye and that. He goes to the motel questioning Norman and that, you know. Oh yeah, some great scenes in this, guys, yeah. And of course, I needn't mention the shower scene, the infamous shower scene, yeah. Some of the interviews I've seen of Janet Leigh, she's actually said, you know, she's a little bit sort of like nervous about taking showers. Yeah, not surprised, guys. Yeah, you know, because he really, oh yeah, the way he just comes in, well, the figure comes in dressed in the garb and that, you know, with the wig on and that and the dress, and oh, just lays into it. One of the most horrific scenes in horror movie history, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is one of the greatest horror movies ever made. No doubt about it. You know, of course, Anthony Perkins' consummate performance as Norman Bates, you know, schizophrenic and that, yeah. So I say it's got atmosphere, you know, great actors, great cinematography, great plots, you know, some nice twists as well thrown in and that, yeah. The ultimate horror movie, Psycho, really is, yeah. So that is why it is number one on my top four Psycho movies, yeah. It's yeah, absolute classic, yeah. And yeah, Robert Bloch, yeah, when he wrote, I think I've said this before, in the original novel by Robert Bloch, Norman Bates is portrayed as this rather overweight, unattractive, podgy, balding character. You know, he's a real slob and that, you know, yeah. But of course, with the movie, like, they sort of like got Anthony Perkins and sort of like glamorize him up a little bit and that, yeah. Oh, they've done a great job, guys, with this. They really did, yeah. It's a fantastic movie, Psycho, yeah. One of the greatest movies ever made, yeah. And the picture quality in this is fantastic. It really is, yeah. And there you go. There you've got your special features there, guys. Yeah, and the music as well by Bernard Herrmann. Wow, I think that's the greatest musical score in horror movie history. You know, when the movie started, the violins and that, you know, really dramatic, yeah. Yeah, so that's another great thing about the movie, that, you know, the music and that, and as I say, the characters and that, Anthony Perkins' performance as, like, you know, the disturbed Norman Bates, yeah, and then the horrific murder scenes and that, yeah. Oh yeah, it's the perfect horror movie, Psycho, yeah. Okay, guys, well, that's number one on me Psycho movie ratings. Psycho, the classic from 1960, directed by the late great Alfred Hitchcock, yeah. Okay, well, before I wind this video up, I'd just like to say a couple more words about Anthony Perkins, yeah. Now, yeah, as I say, yeah, fantastic taking Norman Bates off, yeah. And he made other great roles as well, aside from Psycho. Before Psycho, he's been in quite a few other good movies and that. For instance, Pretty Poison, that's a great one, yeah. That's got a good twist to it. Yeah, and in The Deep Dark Woods, where he plays, like, another one where you don't really know if he's a killer or not. He plays a sort of, like, I think it's a police detective. He's looking for he's trying to solve this mystery and that. Yeah, that's a good one. And excuse me, and he played Dr. Jekyll in the movie Edge of Sanity. That's a great one as well. Yeah, he's made some great movies, Anthony Perkins, and he's also a good singer as well. He's made some couple of records and that, you know, nearly part of his when he first started out and that. Yeah. So if you go onto YouTube and type in Anthony Perkins, you can hear him. He's got a good voice as well. Yeah. Still missed to this day, guys. Yeah, fine actor. Yeah. He was perfect in that role, Psycho. Yeah. I mean, you know, nobody can play Norman Bates like him. You know, he just had everything, didn't he? He was the perfect villain. You know, very multi-layered character. You know, he really was. Yeah. And and the expressions on his face, and like, you know, the mannerisms and that, you know. Oh yeah, he was really on the money in this role as Norman Bates. He really was. Yeah. I don't think anybody could have played Norman Bates quite like Anthony Perkins. Yeah, fantastic actor, as I say, still very much missed today. Yeah. And as I say, that what made Norman interesting, like, although he was a killer, he was schizophrenic. So, you know, sometimes you did feel a little bit sorry for him and that, you know, especially in the later Psycho movies, like where he wouldn't leave him alone, and especially in Psycho 2, he was trying to get his life back together and that. He'd been released from the institution after 22 years being locked up and that, and he just wanted to sort of like rehabilitate himself and sort of like ease himself back into normal society. But of course I won't say, if you haven't seen the movie, I won't say what happens, guys, to sort of like ruin that for him. I'll let you see Psycho 2 for yourselves. But those of you seeing it, you'll know also what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video about me Psycho movies. So so once again, number 4, Psycho 4. Number 3 is Psycho 3. Number 2, my second favourite Psycho movie, Psycho 2. And of course, number 1 classic is the original Psycho from 1960. Okay, guys, are you a fan of the Psycho movies? What's your favourites? Would you agree with my order, or have you got a different rating for them? I'd like to see it. Leave your comments down below. And you can't beat Psycho. One of the greatest horror movies ever made. And Anthony Perkins, as I say, such a consummate actor in that, you know. And of course, as I've just said, in addition to the Psycho, he's appeared in many other great movies and that, you know. Okay, guys, well, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to share, subscribe, comment, and all going well. I'll talk to you all again soon. Stay safe.